Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
Yeah, adventure blue dude.
Oh, so enthusiastic tonight.
I try.
Yeah.
I try. Yeah.
All right, and welcome to Nuts and Bolts, the show where we dive into theme parks from the other side of the Disney pond. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic.
Woohoo!
Ooh.
All right, so tonight we are. Is this the first time that we're talking about something outside of the United States?
Well, I
On
mean,
Nuts
we
and
briefly
Bolts?
talked about Thor Park and Alton Towers, but we didn't focus on it.
Sure. In the roller coaster podcast we
Yeah.
first did to start the series
It's
off.
the first episode dedicated to a park outside the country.
Yeah. All right. So fair enough. So, indeed, now we have a distinctly American corporation taking over a distinctly foreign theme park with Six Flags Mexico. Woohoo!
Such a creative name.
I know, right?
I think there are two in Mexico, too, which makes me laugh.
I was just thinking, like, the original Six Flags over Texas is named after the Alamo.
Is it?
So how fucking, yeah, it is.
Huh.
So how fucking ironic would it be if Six Flags Mexico was called Six Flags over Mexico?
Hmm.
I'm just saying, like, oh god, oh, insensitive history. All right, well, I digress.
Too soon, Tiki.
Oh, I know.
Almost 200 years.
Okay, so the interesting thing about this park, it's pretty small. It looks like it was a marine park, or at least something to that extent, because it still has a dolphin show attached to it, which is kind of interesting. I can relate to that, being a Discovery Kingdom local myself. See, a couple interesting coasters to point out. They have several, two really well-themed kiddie coasters themed to the Dark Knight, or themed to Batman. One of them is called just simply the Joker, which is kind of like themed to 60s Batman in a way, because it's just got all these like crazy, like, swirly things and pow and bangs and stuff, and it's just all the sidewalk is all painted like, just swirly and purple and kind of, and it looks really good. And here's the thing about it, though. This coaster was actually in Discovery Kingdom for a brief amount of time as, okay, so one season it was Tony Hawk's Big Spin. The next season, they literally... Yeah.
I know what coaster you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what coaster I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. It's a
No,
pretty
I
common
do.
coaster.
Yeah, because I think there's one in New England.
There's one practically everywhere now.
It's like Mr. Six's Pandemonium is what it used to be called. Before they got rid of Mr. Six. Because I assume
actually, the Tony Hawk theme at Discovery Kingdom only lasted for one season, and then it became Pandemonium without the Mr. Six theme.
Yeah.
And then a year later it was gone. So it lasted 2 seasons and 2 theme changes.
Yeah.
It's like, well done, Six Flags. Well done. You really nailed all of that one. But seriously, I mean, now it looks like they really got the ball rolling on this coaster, because I really enjoy it. Like, I mean, just the painted concrete in general, it just looks so much cooler. And then they have the Dark Knight coaster, and this looks like...
Oh, is it a Wild Mouse?
Yeah, it's a Wild Mouse, but it looks really solid, though. Like, it takes advantage of the compact nature of a Wild Mouse.
Yeah,
and kind of adds a suspense layer to that, wouldn't you say?
It's an okay ride. I mean, I'm not sure what else they could do with it. The pre-show's really cool, but I'm not sure what else they could do with it, just with it being an indoor Wild Mouse. But the theming's okay. There's one thing that pisses me off, though. I mean, I'm just being picky. I'm just being a picky Disney asshole. But like, there's one thing that like pisses me off theming wise.
What is that?
In Jersey, at least, like, when you exit, you go through the room that the Wild Mouse is in, which is kind of interesting. But then, like, the building is painted like a sky, and the way you enter through the Gotham Transit Authority building. But then, like, you exit the building and you just walk out of the sky, it looks. And that shouldn't bother me, but it bothers me. Like, they just, like, add a structure to make it look like you're walking out of something.
Oh, God.
Excuse me, I'm a Disney fan.
I really do like the ha-ha-ha's in the hallway.
Oh, yeah, that's...
there's, like, some really creepy clown imagery. Like, I don't think they're really that strong of animatronics, but still, it's like, it's pretty good spook house effects.
Yeah! I mean, that's really what it is. It's like a modern Bill Tracy ride, kind of.
Right. But then you got Heath Ledger's voice in there, too, and that always helps. Yeah. Oh, God. Okay, and then we have Superman Ultimate Flight, which is just a hypercoaster. It looks okay.
Disappointing.
What?
That's disappointing.
Why is it disappointing?
Because it's not a flying coaster.
No, yeah, right.
It's right to the shit. It's so good. I apologize.
I mean, honestly, it looks a little. I don't know how do I put it. Like, it looks like it relies a little more on just the layout than a usual hypercoaster, which relies on just the big hills. Because, there's one big drop, but then after the big drop, the layout kind of gets, like, really spread out. I think it looks kind of interesting. It doesn't look as thrilling as something like like, let's say a Millennium Force or a Goliath at Magic Mountain or anything like that. But, I don't know, it still looks like a pretty interesting ride. I mean,
that kind of sounds like the one in Six Flags New England to me, actually.
Possibly.
Well, I mean, not like a clone. Like, the one in New England is incredible. Like,
is it a hypercoaster?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Pretty sure. Like, yeah, I think. I don't know. But, it's an out and back at first, and it, like, relies on, like, gigantic hills and airtime.
Right.
But then it starts, like, focusing more on, like, bank turns and, like, going under bridges and stuff, and it's actually really cool.
Oh, yeah. Any ride that has, going under bridges is pretty awesome. And speaking of that, they have this really weird coaster called the Tsunami, and this is like a kiddie coaster. And literally the whole ride is like designed around going under this like really old-looking bridge. This bridge, I think, looks like it was like a remnant of the park when it used to be owned by whoever owned it before Six Flags. And it's just, I don't know, it's just this really weird ride. It's like you got Superman in the background just kind of towering over it. And it's just like, the track looks really old, the bridge looks really old. It's like there's two arches in the bridge which you go under. And, it looks fun. Like, it looks like a pretty fun layout for a kiddie coaster, but it's just odd. All right, but anyways, now we get to the star attraction, the reason why we're here to talk about Six Flags Mexico tonight. Steel Medusa. I mean, I think it's technically called Medusa Steel Coaster, but I like to refer to it as just Steel Medusa. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
You don't have an opinion one way or another?
Not really. It's a name.
It's a name.
It's an identifying feature.
Yes. I don't know. It bothers my OCD a little bit when coasters feel the need to put coaster in the title.
I'm sorry?
I said it bothers my OCD a little bit when coasters feel the need to put the word coaster in the title.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
There's no real point in doing that.
All right, so Medusa, this started out as a wooden roller coaster for the park. And this is kind of really another interesting parallel to Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. I kind of discovered that this park has a couple interesting parallels to that park. Six Flags Discovery Kingdom has Medusa, which is a floorless coaster. Have you ever been on a Medusa?
Sort of. The one in Jersey is Bizarro now.
Okay, but it used to be Medusa?
Like, essentially, yeah.
Okay, I hear you.
Just I
think the one at Discovery Kingdom is the only one with a straight drop. The others have curved drops. And interestingly enough, one of the major focal points of conversation that came out of my Iron Colossus video when I made that was the topic is Scream at Magic Mountain, which is essentially kind of a mirror image of Medusa. Now, the interesting thing about this ride is that it really is kind of one of the weaker rides at Magic Mountain, but that's just considering that the lineup at Magic Mountain is so goddamn amazing. I mean, you have a classic Aero suspended coaster and Ninja. You have all kinds of record-breaking coasters with YOLO and X2 and Tatsu and frickin' Goliath, Superman Ultimate Flight. You got crazy gimmicky rides like Green Lantern. You got really solid Batman-themed rides with Riddler's Revenge and Batman the Ride. You got the original Colossus, which is still really solid. Viper's a good ride. Revolution's the first looping roller coaster ever made. Excuse me while I go through one of my favorite parks' whole coaster lineup. But that's all I'm saying. It's that Magic Mountain. I'm not saying that Scream is necessarily a bad ride. I'm just saying that Magic Mountain has so much other high-quality coasters that it really does kind of pale in comparison, which is interesting considering that, again, Medusa at Discovery Kingdom, it's really unquestionably the best ride in that park. So that only goes to show you how strong Magic Mountain is in terms of their coaster lineup. But I don't know, I guess my point is that I'm just so used to Medusa at Magic Mountain, or at Discovery Kingdom rather, as a steel coaster, as a floorless coaster. It's just like, it's ingrained in my mind. Like, you have no idea. I've ridden that coaster so many times. It's just like, first of all, they have the capacity on that thing, like, down. It's like I never see it with more than a 5-minute wait, and like, ever, which is amazing considering it's still consistently one of the more popular rides in the park, but it's like a massive people eater at this point. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, the operations are just refined to a razor's edge, and it's just like kind of beautiful. It's just like, oh my god, you were like Disney level operations, Medusa staff, props. So that brings us to the wooden roller coaster. What do you think of the POV you saw of the wooden Medusa?
It looked okay. I mean, it looked very, very rickety.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Huh.
And I think that's kind of a common theme with the Rocky Mountain construction coasters, is that they take coasters that are kind of rickety and falling apart, which, in my opinion, Colossus is not. So Colossus needs new trains. I'm not saying I'm not excited for Iron Colossus. I'm sorry I keep bringing Iron Colossus into this, but really this is more of a discussion of Rocky Mountain construction in general, so whatever. But really, Colossus is a coaster where the track itself is maintained pretty damn good. It's really just the trains themselves that are shit, and everyone says it, everyone knows it. The trains themselves on that coaster are uncomfortable and make the ride experience not that enjoyable. If they were to get rid of those trains, get, like, say, GCI trains or something like that, it'd be a much better experience. But alas, we are getting Iron Colossus, so we'll see where it goes. I mean, I'm still excited for the whole prospect of the dual track element and everything like that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it does seem like a very rickety coaster. I do like the element. It's interesting because it has the same sort of first drop style as a Medusa at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, where it kind of has the lift hill and then it has that sort of mini drop with a curve going into the big drop. And that is interesting because it really is a mirror image of what you see in Discovery Kingdom, even though it's totally like a completely different designed roller coaster and obviously, you know, a different style and everything. But that they kind of incorporated the whole, like, oh, we're going to drop. No, we're not. Now we are. Woo! I don't know. Looks like it got some pretty decent airtime. Looks like it had some pretty solid hills.
Yeah.
But overall, I don't know. Again, I just can't get over the theme of the thing because I'm just, like, so used to having Medusa as a steel coaster. But, all right, well, with that in mind, Rocky Mountain Construction has moved in, and now their latest project, I mean, they are just on a roll, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Because it's like, let's see, just this year alone, we got Goliath, last year we had stuff like, let's see, what
Oh,
we
we
did
got Iron
last year.
Rattler too.
What?
Or was that last year? Iron Rattler.
Iron Rattler, I think, was last year.
Was it last year? And then
Yeah.
there's New Texas Giant was a
New
year or
Texas
two
Giant,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that was about it.
Yeah, but it's just like the coasters they've done so far, it's just like everyone is lining up to work with them. I mean, they are the equivalent of like a new director in Hollywood that just hit it big, and now all the big celebrities are just like, come, work with us, please, please, make our projects better. It's like they are just the hot new property in town. It's like, forget B&M, forget Intamin, forget any of that stuff. Forget inversions on regular steel coasters, because apparently those are just boring now.
That's
I don't know.
slightly worrisome, though.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, because why does it make you worry?
Because wooden coasters are a treasure, and nobody fucking makes wooden coasters anymore. Or rather, some people, like some companies do, but there really aren't a lot.
There's GCI.
Well, yeah, that's about the only one that I mean.
GCI just made a really solid wooden coaster for California's Great America.
Yeah, I mean, there are new wooden coasters coming out, but not like how there are steel coasters. And what worries me is that even at this point, like at this point now, like Six Flags is going apeshit saying we must convert all our Woodies, and like it's very worrisome that.
I mean, I know what you're saying. It's like by the end of the day, it's like, are we gonna get a Six Flags park that doesn't have like an Iron Horse hybrid in it?
And like not even like I'm not even talking about new wooden coasters, like the older ones too. Like there's so much history to them. Like there's Thunderbolt, there's all the Woodies at Hershey Park, even though those are kind of newer. But like there's millions of Woodies from like Jesus. There's one in goddamn Denmark. Yeah, Denmark from like 1910.
Well, I don't think Rocky Mountain Construction is going to touch that one.
No, I know that one has like a lot of history to it. But what I mean is, like in America, at least, like we could lose a lot of history because Six Flags wants to make the new exciting thing without even focusing on the history that the attraction has had, which is worrisome.
Okay, well, on the other end of the spectrum, I feel like with the new Texas Giant, I don't necessarily think that it's just spitting in the face of history. I think it's a pretty decent.
Well, I mean, New Texas Giant was kind of in shambles when they redid it.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, like, it just worries me that Six Flags would eventually get to the point where like they don't care if the ride is still like in very good operating condition. They just want to like churn out new things.
I think right now, though, I don't know. It's like Iron Colossus is kind of the tipping point where it's like, okay, this ride is in pretty good condition. Like I said, trains notwithstanding. So it's like, so we'll see how it goes from here. But anyways, let's talk about the actual ride. Let's talk about the Steel Medusa. What do you think?
It looks really good. What I noticed though is like it takes about half the time to ride the new Medusa than it did the original. Mainly because it's a steel coaster and it goes faster.
Right, sure.
But I just found it interesting. Like I'm not sure if they downsized it at all.
And also probably because the inversions themselves just take up a lot more space that you could use for like bunny hills or stuff like that. And but let's see, this ride has 3 inversions, including a pretty hairy one that's right at the top of the drop. I thought that was a really interesting choice.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, like that right there kind of I don't know, it's just interesting to see just Rocky Mountain is just they're going crazy like, okay, what other inversions can we do? Hey, let's do an inversion like Incredible Hulk style that starts at the top of the drop. Yeah! And they did it. And then let's see, and then we get a classic dive loop, which is prominent in the Goliath ride. And then we get a good old-fashioned barrel roll. I must say, out of all the Rocky Mountain elements, the barrel rolls kind of look the most fun.
Yeah.
Just because it's like you're literally just in this massive tunnel of wood.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, but what do you think?
No, I mean it's an interesting ride. Well, I think a lot of it's because we've been focusing so much on Rocky Mountain coasters and recently, but they've all kind of started looking very similar to each other in
I mean,
different
yeah,
ways to me.
you got the trademark like really bright red track that always
Yeah.
pops out. I mean that I don't really mind that though. I mean, I think that's excuse me. I think that's just kind of like I don't know, it's like it's just the style of the company, It's like
Oh no, I
with
mean I'm not really talking about that. I mean like it's
are you talking like in terms of design?
yeah, like it seems as though like when you watch a Rocky Mountain like Woody, like it's like this is a wooden coaster with inversions, and it's just like it goes up, go down a little bit. Uh-oh, upside down. Like, oh, but guess what? You're still on a Woody. We got some buddy hills here, but oh, another loop and a loop, and then we go back to the station. Like it's, I mean, they're really revolutionary. They're really interesting, but do they need something new?
We'll see what they do with Iron Colossus because, like I
If
said, I
they
think
do
that's
Iron
kind of
Colossus.
oh they're doing Iron Colossus, my friend. It's more or less confirmed. It's more or less confirmed at this point. As a matter of fact, I feel like kind of excuse me. Ooh, sorry.
Oh, you knock your thing out? Okay.
I'm fine.
Uh,
As a matter of fact, I feel like kind of a jackass for in my original Iron Colossus video. I was like, ooh, what could this mean? What could this mean? It's like, no, really, you could only mean one thing, and that's Iron Colossus.
I would like to see what they can do with the racer, because like steel coasters,
that's what I'm saying.
Steel coasters, when there's two tracks, they duel, they don't race. Which,
sure,
yeah.
Right.
Which I'd love to see a racing steel coaster, especially if it played. Like if the tracks played with each other, that'd be cool. But that's beside the point. Like I mean,
there's stuff like Dueling Dragons.
That's not a racer though. That's a dueler.
I thought Dueling Dragons was a Dueling Dragons. Don't the tracks kind of diverge and kind of play with each other at some points?
A little bit, but I mean like
but I think it's still more or less just like tracks kind of mirror image.
Like interlaced with each other and like hitting each other occasionally. Like it's not like a race where like, oh, who's gonna get back first? No, they both get back at the same time, always. But but like what I'd like to see is like even Woody, even Steel, if they could do a racer where like the tracks are like following each other right along. Like you never lose sight of the other person. You're trying to get ahead, and you can't really control that, but you're trying to get ahead of the other car. And like there's parts where like corkscrews like interlace with each other, like things like that. There's a lot you could do that they haven't done. And if Rocky Mountain Coasters are to do, if Rocky Mountain Coasters is to do something with a racer, I kind of like to see something like that.
And keep in mind, it's like Colossus is a fairly tall ride unto itself. It's about 160 feet, I think.
Yeah.
And if they could expand on that even further, make it even a little higher, which I think they could, given the fact that they'll probably, given the fact that they'll probably make the drops vertical, that'll probably spare them some extra space. You know what I mean? To do more with the lift hill itself. In terms of like where the extra space for the drop would be.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking this could quite possibly be the highest Rocky Mountain coaster yet.
Yeah. That's the other thing that worries me.
What?
Actually, I'm sorry. In terms of like the seeming phasing out of Woodies. Woodies are kind of like a stepping point into the coaster world for like kids. Like I mean. Like, I remember, like, I grew up riding the Comet. And, like, if Rocky Mountain Coasters does things like this, and it happens to most every coaster, I think a lot of the youth would be, why am I saying the youth? I'm 19. A lot of the youth, them young kids, they'd be robbed of that, I feel. I'm sorry, I'm rambling things that we don't need to discuss, but yeah.
there's still quality kids coasters out there. You know, it's like.
Oh no, I know there are, but I suppose
I know what you're
very
saying. It's like wooden roller coasters. They definitely are a stepping point. That's why something like the Giant Dipper at the Santa Cruz Boardwalk. I mean, that's never going to receive a Rocky Mountain treatment, thank God, because it's a national fucking historic landmark.
Yeah.
Like I would be incredibly lividly against. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh no. It makes me shake with anger just thinking about it. Oh, hey guys, we're gonna do the Iron Dipper.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, don't mind me with my various concerns about this. I'm just very...
Oh no, it's all good. It's totally, you know, it's good conversation points.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Very sentimental about Woodies.
But with Medusa, I think that, I don't know, it's like, from what we've seen, you know, like, I'm not sure how good the Rattler was when they took that out. Do you have any knowledge about that?
I thought it was a new ride.
Really?
I thought it was a new ride, like, period.
No, Iron Rattler was Rattler.
What's the ride from Silver Dollar City?
Oh, I don't know what that is. I know what you're talking about, though. That is a new ride. I
had him confused. I was thinking Rattler was the one from Silver Dollar City.
No, Iron Rattler is Fiesta, Texas.
Cool. Outlaw Run. That's the one at Silver Dollar City.
What'd you say?
Outlaw Run.
Oh yeah, Outlaw Run. Yeah, that is probably among the better Rocky Mountains, just because, like you said, it is an original one, so they probably have more to work with there. Yeah, but I don't know, like you said, I don't think they've got this mindset yet of just like, hey, you know, let's just go in and just demolish all wooden coasters and then.
Oh no, I know that, but my concern is that it might get to that point. Not where like they're actively saying like fuck Woodies, like we got steel tracks. I just think like Six Flags.
I mean, if anything else, I actually think that Rocky Mountain is very healthy for wooden roller coasters in terms of like. Because before that, it's like how often would parks add wooden roller coasters? Like wooden roller coasters in parks would be like the fucking dinosaur attractions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, I wouldn't consider Rocky Mountain coasters to be a Woody.
I consider something like Goliath to be a Woody.
I mean, it's a hybrid coaster. It's a new thing.
God damn it! Why won't you people get it straight with me? Is it a hybrid coaster or is it a Woody? We had this debate on the comment section of the Goliath video I posted.
I participated in that, and I think
it's all made of wood. So
yeah, I think I was wrong. I was wrong. It's a hybrid.
Oh wow!
Sorry.
Oh Jesus Christ!
I make mistakes, but
I thought it was a hybrid coaster.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, I think hybrids are different from Woodies.
I mean, for one, there's definitely the smoothness factor involved. I mean, I don't think every coaster has to be ice smooth. I think that's a really kind of a big mistake because I think a lot of the intensity in coasters comes from the roughness a lot of the time.
Yeah.
The forces.
Yeah, I mean, like, but hybrids also don't have any defining features of Woodies other than the wooden structure.
What do you mean? Like they don't have like the bunny hills or anything like that?
Yeah, none of them rely on bunny hills or airtime. None of them are out and back per se. I mean, not all Woodies are out and back. Like they don't stick to the conventions of wooden coasters. Which, if you want to consider it a wooden coaster, that's great for them because they're doing something new. But if it's a hybrid coaster, which I don't really
consider that a bad thing.
No, I mean it.
Because it's like, how many out and back wooden coasters can we get?
No, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, what I'm saying is, like, it's not a wooden coaster because it has a steel track and it doesn't follow wooden coaster conventions.
Right.
Yeah. So we're adding this to a video that's supposed to be about an Iron Medusa. Whoops.
No, it's all good because I feel like, really, this is just more of a conversation about Rocky Mountain in general.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
And it's a good lead-in into our next topic, which we'll be covering, I don't know, probably in a couple of days or so, which is the top 5 roller coasters that you would actually like to see get the Rocky Mountain treatment. Now,
Okay.
Adventure Blue Dude, I'm going to be really interested to see this, considering, considering the opinions you just laid on the table
Yeah.
about Rocky Mountain.
Yeah.
I mean, do you even have any off the top of your head? Like, do you even think you can come up with a list now?
I know I have some.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And like we said, I think we established, it's like Colossus is questionable, but there's a lot of possibilities with Colossus. So I'd like to see what they do with it. But, I mean, other than Colossus, Rocky Mountain, really, they've just, they're not actively taking out good coasters. They're more taking coasters that need some love and giving them significant portions of love. And I think it's kind of great.
Oh, no, it's good now, but, like, again, my concern is that at some point I worry that Six Flags will see dollar signs and then just say fuck it and just start going to town.
Like just like putting in Rocky Mountain coasters like they're putting in skyscrapers.
Yeah, like we're gonna look at this see this wooden coaster? It has steel tracks now.
Oh
like
god.
Every wooden coaster in every Six Flags park. That is my concern because that is how Six Flags operates.
Okay, well,
there's a boomerang and a mind eraser in 9 out of almost every Six Flags park.
oh yes, I have my mind eraser and my boomerang, so yes, I can relate to that. Speaking of boomerangs, Six Flags Mexico actually has the world's oldest boomerang. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Yeah, some history there. Would you ride the world's oldest boomerang?
I wouldn't ride the newest.
But you wouldn't ride the oldest just for historical value, just to say you did it?
It's a boomerang.
So that's a no?
No, I would ride the first looping.
Oh, come on. You wouldn't ride the first boomerang. It's a 90-second ride.
Maybe.
It's the first boomerang. It's so cool.
Maybe.
Okay, I have a special little place in my heart for Macomb boomerangs.
I don't.
Because, I don't know. It's just because I like to inflict pain upon myself, I guess. That's the only solution. That's the only Oh, God. All right, so, another just one little quick quirk about this park. It's designed in a really interesting way because it's like almost kind of like a weird world showcase type thing. You got Mexican Village, French Village, Polynesian Village, Hollywood, Swiss Village, Cowboy Village, and Bugs because every Six Flags park has to have a Bugs Bunny land. Ooh, originality, like we said. Yeah. And they all have the same flat rides.
Yeah.
Oh boy. But I do think it's interesting that Mexico kind of has a world showcase kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like a little bit of a gem of a park, to tell you the truth. I mean, it doesn't have that strong of a coaster selection, but this Medusa definitely races it up a bit. So
yeah, seems like a quirky little park.
Yeah,
reminds me of Greyscape, actually.
Definitely, definitely at the top of my list of things to do if I were to ever be down in Mexico.
Yeah.
I wonder if this season pass would work.
Probably.
That's my brother, excuse me, but
it'd probably work.
Yeah, hey, season pass, woohoo! That's what I love about these season passes, man. They get you into everywhere. It's like freaking $60. It's like you're like a Six Flags VIP.
Yeah.
Magic Mountain can't come soon enough. All right. Well, I think we've talked enough about Steel Medusa, or Medusa Steel Coaster, as it's properly called. Adventure Blue Dude, would you like to do some little shameless self-promotion for a site of ours?
Yes, bear with me as I talk about a contest that has come to SYWTBAI.com. Me and my good friend Thrill have put up a contest, and we call it Epic Cuts. It stands for Experimental Prototype Imagineering Contest of Tomorrow. So, for those of you who are on the site, around the site, doing whatever you do on the site, there are contests. They usually work elimination teams. What we're doing is we're doing non-elimination and non-teams, and no teams. But, we're working this in a point-based system. So, like, first place gets an amount of points, or rather, that's a lie. We have a grading system, and whoever has the highest score gets first place, obviously, second place, third place, down the line. So, it sounds simple, but the twist to this is that while all of you guys are working alone, me and Thrill will be setting up an open brainstorming thread for each of the projects, where in which all of the contestants playing will be able to post their ideas in that thread and talk it out with everyone else playing the game. It's a little experiment that we want to try. So it's really going to be like, if you have an idea but are unsure about it, you can suggest it to everyone else and see what they say and continue on from there. And yeah, we'll be monitoring it closely, making sure like nobody's stealing ideas for anyone else. So it should go well. It'll be a fun little experiment, but if you want to play, go to sywtbai.com.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be playing, probably against my better judgment, scheduling-wise, but gosh darn it, just sounds like such a fun concept. I really like the idea of just the communal open brainstorming for individual projects. I mean, we've never done that before on So You Want to Be an Imagineer proper, so I very much respect that. So should be a really fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah, once again, guys, go to sywtbai.com for all your armchair Imagineering needs.
Oh, you took my tagline.
What?
Oh, you took my tagline, and I am excited.
It's the combined tagline. We have
beautiful.
forums. We have open brainstorming.
You want me to do this? You want me to do this?
What?
You want me to do this?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
You want me to do this? I can do it so much faster.
Oh my god. Fine, do it.
Sorry, you're going slow. You're worrying me. You're like trying to remember things. You just gotta like blurt it out. Okay.
Okay, then
get your stopwatch.
Shoot your final pitch for the site. Then you're ruining everything.
That's what I do best. I go sywtbai for all your armchair Imagineering needs. We got forums, we got users, we got our armchair Imagineering. We got everything you want. So yeah, talk, do things, post ideas, don't post ideas, reject people's ideas, make friends, make enemies, find lovers. All at sywtbai.com.
Yeah.
And we have Reddit, we have Twitter, we have
That's
Facebook. I apologize. I just like doing that. Sorry for stopping you.
All right, yeah. Like you said, we have Facebook, we have a Twitter. We're still kind of in the beta stages of checking it out, but
and there's a Reddit as well. Subreddit.
What?
There's a subreddit as well.
Indeed,
So,
indeed.
yep.
There's all kinds of stuff we're working on.
We're
and
everywhere.
Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, we'll actually get it together and up running properly.
Yeah. Yep.
But in the meantime, thanks for watching this video, guys. Like, subscribe, and whatnot. That'd be super awesome and fun. Leave a comment if you agree or disagree. What do you think of our stance on Rocky Mountain coasters? Do you agree with me and think they're an innovative step forward for wooden coasters? Do you agree with AdvBlueDude and think they're a threat to the future of the classic wooden roller coasters? What do you think? I'd like to hear from you, and I'll definitely be actively involved in conversations. So,
As will I.
All right, guys. See you later. Have a good night.
Goodbye.